So I already mentioned this, the background, Framework Program 7, the idea of a new tool, going closer to high TRL level, because TRL 6, as most of you probably know, is the upper level of the validation of a technology at just before the technology can be selected to be inserted in a new development program. So in terms of pre-competitiveness, the only TRL level, the higher TRL level that can be funded by public funds like ours is TRL 6. After that, when the demonstration of that technology has been performed with success, it is up to the airframer, to the designers, to the leaders, to the industrial leaders to decide in time and mode to implement, to insert that technology in a future product. The target of Clean Sky 1 is by 2016, which is the last operational year, to bring to TRL 6 as many technologies as possible in order for these technologies to be potentially inserted in new products by 2020. And also the assessment of the benefits is done on the forecast of where the technologies will be with a potential year of application in 2020. By extending this of 7 years or more and taking into account no longer only ACARE for targets for 2020, but also the new Flight Path 2050, Clean Sky 2 is building on these extended targets. However, in this, as you well know, Horizon 2020 is also emphasizing the competitiveness aspects. And our transport program is part of the societal challenges. So it's no longer environmental impact, it's no longer a sustainable aviation, it is also the competitiveness of European players in the world market. And then we have updated the targets, and as I was saying, there are three targets, 3 pillars in the Horizon 2020, and therefore in the formulation of Clean Sky 2. For that is creating a sustainable transport at large, and Clean Sky, of course, is focusing on the aviation part, but Horizon 2020 and the Commission has already launched several calls at the end of last year on the different transport modes. There is the emphasis on the using a cross-modality approach. So it is not our target especially, but the link with the projects and the calls launched by the Commission for the road transportation, rail transportation, is giving the full picture of looking and improving in general the mobility in Europe. And then, as I mentioned to you, then the innovation part, so the fact that these technologies shouldn't stay at the level of TRL 6 and then not being brought to a product, so not become the innovation of the product, and therefore guaranteeing a competitive advantage with respect to other products in the market. Also, this is an essential part, essential component of this new program. And you will hear in the leaders' presentation about their program how this is emphasized in the selection of the technologies first and the demonstration and the integration of these new technologies in future products to come. At the basis of all this, the structure, the organization of the program will again keep a focus, attention to the participation not only of the major industrial leaders of the aviation sector in Europe, but as well the participation of other actors, especially SMEs and academia. With respect to the existing program, where there are 12 leaders, the founding members of Clean Sky 2 are now 16. Two of the previous of the existing associates have become also the leaders of the new proposal. These are DLR and MTU, and then other two have been added at a later stage, and we will hear about this program, because while focusing on mostly the same areas, the same aircraft components or systems, engines, and eco design and other aspects, in this program there is also a small aircraft transport chapter, which will be presented this morning, and is coordinated by Evector and Piaggio Aero. Both of the co-leaders are present here, so this will be an opportunity for you to meet them in the B2B meetings of the afternoon. In June of this year, there will be a first joint technical proposal issued, and the progress on that will be mentioned later by Bruno. Next. So again, what is the idea behind and the approach is going from building on the status of the technologies now, 2013, 2014, looking at where the technologies will reach by 2016 as part of Clean Sky 1 program, and building on these two blocks, decide which technologies, which systems can be further developed or can be developed from now to reach the high TRL level planned in the program. And you see in this scheme already some of the candidate demonstrators, either full scale, like the ground, like the airframe demonstrators, fuselage barrels, wings, or large scale flying demonstrators, of which one is the only case in which we are really extending the activity as planned in Clean Sky 1 and becoming part of Clean Sky 2, is the open rotor flying demonstrator that at the beginning of the program of Clean Sky 1 was part of this program, and due to the different, the evolution of the technologies and the assessment of different aspects concerning that new power plant and the difficulties of integration in the airframe, then the program is continuing in Clean Sky 1 up to the level of the demonstration of the engine itself, but the integration in flight has become part of Clean Sky 2. So you will hear about that also in the engine presentation. The most interesting part will be the presentation on the faster rotorcraft IADP, which is now targeting to demonstrate, to fly in a demonstrator of two new concepts. And we will have the two different presentations from the next speakers. And one other interesting part, will be the turboprop area, which was already in the technical content of the different work packages in Clean Sky 1, but will be further extended in Clean Sky 2, and we will hear about that. Next. So the structure is not different from the current one. There are three large systems, ITDs, so integrated technology demonstrators, engines and systems, which are more or less the equivalent to what was today, and the new one, which is airframe, which is in any case an ITD in itself, but is working in integration with the three vehicle on the top, IADPs, which are the innovative aircraft development platform, again split in the large passenger aircraft, in the regional aircraft, and in the fast rotorcraft. You see again on the right the technology evaluator. This time will be coordinated only by DLR, with a role of monitoring and assessing the development and the maturity of the different parameters, both in terms of environment and in terms of improvement of the competitive level of the industry. It is a very challenging task. They've just started the discussion with all the other actors to understand better how to really this assessment can be performed. Eco-design, which in Clean Sky 1 is a full ITD, becomes now a so-called transversal area, as well as small air transport, which is an ITD in a way, but it is contributed by activities performed inside frame, engine, and systems. But you will get more information about that later. So the principle of participation, as I mentioned, with respect to existing Clean Sky 1, which is 50, 25, 25, more or less is 40, 30, 30. So 40% to the founding members, the 16 entities that you saw in the previous slide, and another 60% to be assigned through calls, to be assigned to entities outside these 16. 30% should be assigned to the so-called core partners, which is the new name of the associates of today, and another 30% to be assigned to, through call for proposals, as today, to partners. Part of it could be managed as call for tenders, up to 10%, especially to manage issues like service providing, large wind tunnel testing, and activities which are closer to service than to involvement as partnership. But we will hear about that by Bruno. In terms of eligibility and clustering, the presentation by Bruno will provide you more elements. And if there are no questions on the generalities of the program, I would give the floor to Bruno to continue and to enter in the details of the participation to Clean Sky 2, especially for the potential applicants like core partners and so on. Yes, please. I completely share your point. Maybe when there is the presentation of SAT, they can answer directly to you. If there is really one single SAT demonstrator, or as it is a combination of different flying test beds. So that is probably why there is not a single demonstrator. But I invite the two leaders of SAT to answer during their presentation to your point, which is completely correct, which is fully correct. Is there any other general questions on this part of presentation? Or shall we move to this part?
What is the status of this at the moment?
It is coming now. Okay, Bruno.
Okay. Good morning. Well, thanks for this question. So I will start my presentation right with this slide.
Where we are.
So the aim of my presentation is to give you some preliminary information on the state of play of Clean Sky. Where are we now, and when are we going to launch the call? Which are the rules under consideration? So just to give you first a state of play of the big and long legislative process that we have been involved in the last, I would say, 1 year. So as you know, the Commission made an official proposal in July 2013. Of course, before that, there was long discussions about the preparation of the draft. There was a long discussion about how to structure the new program while ensuring continuity with Clean Sky. There was already by the member states in the Competitiveness Council in December a general approach. So in December, there was already an agreement at member states level. You know, the Council is regrouping basically the 27 representatives of the member states. So there was a discussion and a basic agreement also on the budget. The Council confirmed the 1.8 billion in terms of budget. Very recently, the Parliament issued a first vote. ITRE is the Committee on Research and Trade and Industry of the European Parliament. So there was a first vote on the 23rd of January. There will be a second one on the 18th of March. So Parliament is still, I would say, ratifying its position on Clean Sky 2. It's quite, I would say, a positive recommendation from the Parliament. For the moment, there is a request to decrease a bit the budget, but we will see how the Council will take into consideration the position of the European Parliament. We all expect the budget of 1.8 to be confirmed. This is, I would say, the most ambitious target that we will have. In order to, I would say, have a finally adopted regulation on Clean Sky 2 joint undertaking, unfortunately, we will have to wait until May 2014 because this is the date of the expected adoption of the regulation under the Greek presidency of the European Council. So what's going to happen after that? Of course, we cannot wait until May before finalizing the preparation of the program because you will understand that it's terribly complicated. It's quite, I would say, a far-reaching program with a lot of complexity in terms of preparation of the joint technical proposal. You really need to prepare a lot of documents and agreements in advance. That's why the joint undertaking is already, I would say, trying to save some time and start preparing all the necessary legal basis and documents. As soon as the regulation will be approved in May, we will have to have basically the first governing board of Clean Sky 2 to formally adopt the work program that is called now Work Plan of Clean Sky 2. The governing board will have to adopt the rules for the submission of proposal, evaluation and selection of core partners, model grant agreement, financial rules, consortium agreement. So we expect to bring to the first useful governing board, May, June, all this set of documents in order to have all the legal basis to launch the call. When is the first call going to be published? We don't know yet. What I can tell you today is that it will be for sure before summertime. I could tell you June or July, but this will be anyway a tentative calendar. So I prefer to tell you before summertime.